What's up, everybody? Alien X Gaming here with another interview. I got with us tonight, I got Skydiver Tanner, and he's been in the community. I've chatted with him a whole bunch of times. He's been a lot of streams, debates, all that good stuff. So I'm sure you guys know who he is. So I'm going to be asking him some questions tonight, and hopefully you guys will get a better look into the life of Skydiver Tanner. So what's going on, man? How you doing?
Not much. Just got done watching your live stream, which I think was absolutely fun.
That was a good time.
I live streamed the night before, and it was just kind of an off the cuff thing, and it kind of gets addicting a little bit. Time passes by a lot faster when you live stream.
That is true. That is very true. Yeah, I actually did the live stream today because of your live stream yesterday. I was like, I want to do a live stream. Yeah, so, so that was kind of
right.
Cool.
Right.
Okay, so
yours looked a little bit cooler though, with all the little graphics on the sides and stuff like that. I gotta figure that stuff out.
We can get you there, man. It's not going to be a problem. Okay,
Right.
I got some questions for you tonight, so we can learn a little bit about you. Are you ready?
Cool. Yep.
Okay. What's your first name?
First name is Tanner.
Okay.
It's not Skydiver.
Oh, that would have been cooler. And how old are you?
I am 40 years old.
Are you really? No shit.
I am 40. Yes.
You don't look 40.
That's why I keep the face short and the hair short. Helps me look a little younger, but I do have the grays all over the place. So you just can't see them.
Excellent. And where are you from, sir?
I am from the Twin Cities in Minnesota, but I was born out in North Dakota.
Okay. Let's see. Do you have any siblings?
I do. I have one sister. Her name is Paris, and she lives here in the cities as well. She is older than me, so she kind of got all the testing of what we can get away with out of the way before I got to the teenage years and figure out what I couldn't get away with.
Excellent.
So.
What's your family life
nice.
like? Are you married? Anything?
So I am currently engaged. I have a fiance, Chase. We've been together for just a little over 2 years now, and I proposed to him during my birthday. He actually thought he was doing some big event for me. He was going to do a skydive and invite some of our friends so that way they could watch him jump and to celebrate my birthday. And he didn't know that I had already planned everything for everyone to come. So that way when we got down landing, I went up and proposed right away. So he thought it was him being cool and inviting the friends, when in fact I already had all the friends invited to come out and do that. So it's kind of a
pretty
nice
awesome.
little birthday gift to myself.
That's pretty awesome. Very cool. Do you have any pets?
I do. I have 3 little dogs. I have a long-haired Chihuahua. I have a miniature pinscher, and I have a Pomeranian. And the min pin, he's going to be 14. The long-haired Chihuahua is going to be 9, and the Pomeranian is going to be 8. They're all little barky turds. But I love them to death. They all have their very unique personalities, and they all think of me as a very different person. And then I have the fish tank behind me, which has become famous from my YouTube videos. And then I have a 10-gallon that's just off the screen that's Chase's, and that's more of the shrimp tank and kind of the planted tank, aside from this one.
Cool. Very cool. Do you guys just have fish, or do you breed them, or do you just like fish?
For me, it's more so just display. I don't really breed them. I don't know if I'd have the time to breed them. So like I have some black mollies in here. They're live bearers, and I have green tiger barbs, and I'm cool with that because then the green tiger barbs can snack on the molly fry. But I'm more so for like the contrast of the colors of the fish with the live plants and the wood and everything. So I'm not really into the breeding thing. A little bit with the plants. I have some plants in here that are a little bit hard to find here in the Twin Cities. So like I have something called a Tiger Lotus right here, and it's pretty hard to come across. So if I can get that growing really well and cut off some of the rhizomes, I can sell them back to the fish store here. So if I were to do anything, it really is more so with the plants and with the fish.
Cool. Very cool. All right. This was a Irish question, but I'm keeping it anyway. What kind of car do you drive?
I drive a 2010 Toyota Prius right now. My dad used to be huge on gas mileage. Like when we were growing up, that's pretty much all he pounded into our head. So like one of my first cars was a Ford Escort. And anytime we drove anywhere, like living here in the Twin Cities, he lived out in North Dakota, and driving back and forth, he always asked what our gas mileage was. And then because we're both tech nerds, when the Prius came out, he showed it to me and he was like, look how cool this car is. And so when he passed away, some of the funds that were left over I used to buy a car, and it happened to be the Toyota Prius. And so some people are like, oh, environment. And yeah, it is that. But the way I look at it is the battery in it is just as bad for the environment as anything else, but it was the gas mileage. It will forever be drilled in my head.
You want to know how much a battery is for that car?
I think it's like $3,500, like
about $4,000. Yeah, about $4,000 for a rebuilt battery. Anyway, so yes, they're not as eco-friendly as everybody likes. Anyway,
right.
Okay.
And I had a Nissan Titan crew cab for a while, but that's when the economy like went to absolute garbage. So I was driving a 13 mile per gallon truck that I loved when gas prices were like $4 a gallon.
Nice.
And I lived like 40 minutes away from my job. So I used to joke that like, yeah, I go to work so I can buy gas for my truck so I can go to work.
Yes. That's awesome. What kind of music do you listen to?
Oh, I listen to pretty much anything and everything. I guess it depends on my mood. I like oldies a lot. That's more so when I want to get into my cheery mood, and like if I have to clean up around the house. Like I love Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, Beatles, all the oldie type stuff. And there's just a lot of like good memories from it. One of the places I worked at, I was 16 and there was a woman I worked with who was 60, so complete opposite sides of the spectrum, but yet we hit it off so well. And the only station we could really listen to was oldies. So anytime we were cleaning and we'd goof around, so that was just a good memory for me. I do like a lot of groups that you probably wouldn't normally hear on mainstream, but people have heard of them. I was a Red Jumpsuit Apparatus fan for a while. I kind of went through like the depression phase with Secondhand Serenade. But I like a lot of the pop stuff nowadays too. like I said, I'm pretty much all over the board. It's hard to figure out what type of music I actually listen to.
I gotcha. Yeah, most people, whenever I would ask that question, like just talking to randoms, be like, hey, what kind of music do you like? They're like, everything. I'm like,
yeah.
All right, brother.
I'd say the one thing I probably don't like is I don't like screamo, and I'm not like into hardcore gangster rap. Like I can respect quite a bit of rap that's out there, but like gangster rap, that's not me, and screamo is not me.
No.
So.
Okay. So obviously we know about your fish stuff, but what kind of hobbies do you have aside from the content you create or your fish or dogs?
That there's so many, I don't know what to pick. I love bike riding. Got back into that this year with Chase. I used to do bike tours with my dad back in the day, where we'd bike literally 80 miles per day. During the summertime, I build model rockets, and that's one of the videos I'm hoping to come out with soon, is kind of a time lapse of me building a model rocket.
Sweet. Where
I'll slow it down and explain some of the parts that I'm doing, and then speed it up when I'm just like airfoiling all the fins, so that way it's not super long. So model rocketry is what I got back into since this whole COVID-19 thing hit. I used to do that back in like middle school, beginning of high school. Um, Obviously, I love skydiving. Got into that for my 36th birthday. Definitely afraid of heights, and decided I wanted to try it. And I would have backed out on the airplane, but my cousin was with, so it's like couldn't back out, can't back out, got to do it. And go through the free fall. We get under canopy, and I was ready to be sick. And if you really want to search far enough back in my video history, you'll see my first skydive, and you hear me telling the instructor like, "I'm gonna pass out or I'm gonna puke, like I'm gonna black out." And so he had to quickly shut off the camera. We got down on the ground, and I pretty much thought I was done for good. Um, got home, watched the video, and I was like, I want to try that again. And I actually contacted the drop zone, asked if they were looking for any employees because I've worked around airplanes my entire life. And they said that they were looking for an extra employee. So I started working out there, and basically my work was paying for my jump training. So got into that and love skydiving. I love pretty much anything aviation. Got into drones this summer with COVID-19 kind of happening, and was able to get up in the air again. Because I have my private pilot's license, haven't flown in about 10 years though. So getting the drones was kind of a way for me to kind of have that fun of flying again.
Cool.
And once I started editing them, I enjoyed that. So kind of starting to make videos. I love hiking, being outdoors, exploring new places. I love building Legos. I mean, there's so many different types of things that I like to dabble into. Like you said, obviously my fish tank and trying to figure that out and how to get the plants to grow properly. So there's so many hobbies I enjoy. Working on my car. That's kind of why I was asking you in the live chat a little bit about the hub assembly.
No.
The last time I took it apart, I got so frustrated with it until I watched a YouTube video on how to break free the hub assembly from it being rusted on.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's not so bad, but the Prius is definitely, it's a pain in the ass to work on. But I love working on cars. I used to have a motorcycle that I worked on. So also I'm all over the board when it comes to hobbies.
All right. That's cool, man. Okay. I guess it's a pretty obvious question is, how you came up with Skydiver Tanner. So I don't have to ask you that question.
Right.
Let's see. What kind of content is currently on your YouTube channel?
So currently what's on there is some skydives from the past. If you go really far back, it's just random stuff of my dogs and whatnot, or my pets. Then there's some skydiving videos that weren't edited. They're just raw footage. I have drone videos on there that I put together flying around in the different parts of the city here. But a lot of the stuff that I've been doing is I'm trying to make kind of like a series called Up in the Air, where the topic literally is about anything. And so Little Wolf came up with that for me, talked about Up in the Air. And I kind of want to just discuss pretty much anything out there, so that way my content can be for anyone and everyone. And if someone chooses not to watch a video one week, that's fine, because then maybe someone else will take a liking to what I did put out. I do kind of want to focus a little bit around aviation, flying, drones, and skydiving, but I'm open to suggestions on anything that people might want to hear my opinion on, or hear me talk about, or if there's any questions that they have for me that they just want to know. I'm pretty much an open book, so that's kind of where I'm trying to go with it. Maybe do some live chats or live streams in the future to kind of also be that open book and answer questions or have discussions on certain things. So it's going to be kind of all over the place, but there is going to be a slight focus on body flight, skydiving, and aviation.
All right. Cool. Very, very cool. I actually just watched the safety rig that you had, that video. And I didn't know there was so many different intricate parts on a parachute pack. I really had no idea. That's pretty cool. But
oh yeah, it's crazy all the safety features that they put in it. Especially a lot of people don't know about that automatic activation device. Um, you know, they think that like if you were pass out or blackout that you're going to just smack the ground, and they don't realize that there is that device on there that will automatically deploy your reserve parachute if you're still at free fall speeds by a certain altitude.
Hmm.
And so there's so many different little safety things that go into it that are fail safes. I would trust skydiving way more than I ever would like zip lining, or bungee jumping,
Okay.
uh, just because I obviously I know more of the safety behind skydiving, and I'm don't know how far up it is, but skydiving is one of the safest sports from what I know of in the world. Um, when you hear of incidents, it's because it is so rare, kind of like airplane crashes, right?
Sure.
Aviation or flying is probably one of the safest ways you can travel, but when an incident happens, one, it involves a lot of people typically,
Right.
or it's because it's a rare occurrence, so you hear about it. And it's the same with skydiving. It's very rare that something happens, and so when it does, you hear about it, and it makes its way up front. Just kind of like the designer for Bob's Burgers. Unfortunately, he recently passed away, and I don't know what the cause was. There could be several different things that was the cause, but it's too bad that happened.
Absolutely. Okay. Who was your largest influence when you were deciding on what kind of content to create? Were you your own influence and you just wanted to do it, or was it more to teach people? What was that?
Yeah, a little bit was kind of myself. I some people asking me questions in chats and just everyday life, people asking questions. One thing that kind of inspired me, or one person that kind of inspired me a little bit more, was Team Skeptic, and kind of seeing the rawness he had and how he's just very himself and
Mm-hmm.
flowed so easily. And that's something I really enjoy in a creator. And that's kind of what I want to be. I kind of want to just be that natural person who's not trying to put on a character or not trying to put on a front, and just be truly me.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was one night he was doing a live chat, and the way he was going about it was just like, that's where I want to go. Like, I had the idea of what I wanted to do, but watching him was more the influence on how I want to be in front of the camera.
That's kind of cool. So,
Yeah.
yes. Do, 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 do. So, what was, I guess, the first type of content that you created for YouTube?
Uh, first, like, the first produced content for my YouTube was the drone videos, the drone footage.
Yeah.
My very, very first drone video is absolutely garbage. I tried to put music to it, and I didn't really think about like the whole, switching scenes to the beat or anything like that. But once I got some better editing gear, and got into it, then that would be the first like actual content that I put on my YouTube. Otherwise, it was just kind of, raw footage of skydives, or like I said, my pets or something.
All right. Let's see here. What Okay, so you talked a little bit about stuff that you want to create in the future.
Mhm.
What would you say that you are the most nervous of trying to create? I guess I don't know if that would be an actual question.
Um, if I were to go the route of flat Earth debunk videos, which I have two very short ones out, that'd probably be the area I'd be most nervous about, because before entering this community, I thought I was fairly smart. I understand physics fairly well. I understand science fairly well. Like, if someone's trying to teach it to me, I can understand it, but I'm not very good at conveying it back out. So if I were to try to do more debunk videos, I'd probably struggle the most there, just because I'd either have to like really research it again, or try to rehearse what I'm gonna say, um, or have a script definitely out in front of me to be reading. But the only problem with having the script ready for me is I feel like then I'm not as natural as I'd be if I were to just do it off the cuff. So that's probably the content I'd be most nervous about. The next would probably be topics that not everyone would be completely into, and some of that would be a little bit about my being gay and my fiance being a part-time drag queen. But I also feel education is um, the best thing, obviously, for you to understand, but to basically break down walls and break down fears, because I feel like you fear stuff that you don't understand or though that you don't know.
Sure.
And so those topics I get a little bit nervous about, but um, seeing how everyone's been in this community, I know it's going to be welcomed with open arms. It's all the other people in the world that kind of makes me a little bit nervous.
Well, I mean, that brings it back to trying to make a channel where you can be yourself.
Right.
So that's awesome. So I'm sure once if you start making that kind of content, I'm sure you're gonna kind of calm down a bit. But that's awesome to be able to teach people about something that they're really ignorant about. They just they'll judge it. And if there's
Right.
people
Well,
that
I mean,
okay.
I was gonna say I'll be the first to admit, like, and especially like with Chase being a drag queen. When I first came out a long time ago, like, my mindset was way different on what it meant to be a drag queen versus like what my mindset is now. And so that's exactly kind of why I would like to do some of the teaching on that particular subject sometime.
Sure, very cool. Let's see here. What is your favorite content to watch?
Oh, I'm all over the board there, just kind of like my hobbies. I can be caught up for hours watching like America's Got Talent videos, or Britain's Got Talent type stuff. I can end up watching like live train footage from the cab where they're just going down the tracks.
Okay.
I got caught up watching rocket videos, obviously, got a lot of the debunking flat earth stuff. I'm slowly straying away from some of the flat earth stuff as far as like debate stuff, because to me it's just getting old, but a lot of the created content I still really enjoy that. um I love watching Aquarium Co-op talking about fish tanks. He does live streams, so you see me doing stuff. I look up pretty much anything and everything. If you looked at my history, you would never know who was looking at it. You would think it's like 50 different people watching on the same name.
That's awesome. All right. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to some of the content that you make, and hopefully, maybe we can make some shit together. I mean, that'd be kind of cool too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really appreciate you coming out tonight, and not coming out, but I mean, like, taking the time.
Being here.
There you go. Taking the time. There we go. To answer some questions, and you're not, and I'm not definitely a big YouTuber, but we still count. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I mean,
Exactly.
I'm gonna try to talk to as many people as I can, as far as interviewing people, even from the community, people that create content, whatever. I know it's gonna be a lot of fun. So,
Right. Well,
yeah.
I think this is an absolutely cool idea because, like I said to you in chats, is like I think it's a great way to kind of make creators more of a person, and there's more of that personal connection that you have.
Sure.
And it just kind of almost makes you want to watch them that much more. And what I think is cool about some of the people that you've been getting is, even if we're small channels, they were there at one point too.
Sure.
So I kind of look at it as they're paying it forward to kind of try to help other people. So I absolutely love that some of the names and some of the people that you've been getting don't have such a big head that they can't come down to some of these smaller creators and be a part of this. So this is absolutely amazing what you're doing.
I appreciate that, man. It's been a lot of fun, and I can't always think of good questions, but there's enough, to spend some time still just allowing them to talk about themselves. You know what I mean? Because like that's
Right.
where you're gonna learn the most. Anyways, just letting people continually have their own conversation about themselves. Whether it goes in different
Right.
tangents or whatever, but you get to know them. So that's pretty awesome.
And you could come up with something where it's like, 1 year later after the interview, what are you up to now?
Oh, goodness. All right, man. If you guys watched it and you liked it, hit the like button, subscribe. You know, there's plenty of more interviews coming up that I've got scheduled up. If there's any certain YouTuber you want me to try to get a hold of to try to interview, you know, I mean, eventually I hope to get to that point where I can be like, hey, Mr. Popular Guy, let me interview you, you know, that kind of thing. That'd be awesome. But anyway, leave a comment below, like and subscribe. Go check out Skydiver Tanner's link. It'll be down in the description below. All right. You guys have a great night. Take care.